Hello, Westford! Public safety officials conducted training this week at Westford Academy. Drenching rains quashed the Westford Colonial Minutemen's traditional march to North Bridge, and lots of Nabnassett residents turned out for a presentation on the history of their section of town. I'm Ira Keltz, and it's time for WestfordCAT News. Before we get started this week, Westford, I'd like to remind you to please subscribe to our free daily email publication at westfordcatnews.org. And if your civic or cultural organization has an event coming up, send the details to news@westfordcat.org. Police and firefighters were on site at Westford Academy on April 18th, engaged in training for an active shooter scenario. The drill was reportedly the first such training episode of this kind at a Westford public school building. It comes after a school custodian on the premises of Crisafulli Elementary School was discovered to be in possession of an illegal firearm on March 6th. The custodian was arrested and fired from his job. Another incident on March 2nd prompted police to search the school for a firearm after an alleged threat. No weapon was found. And on February 14th, 17 students and adults were killed by a mass shooter at the Marjorie Stoneham Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. In the aftermath of these incidents, Superintendent Bill Olson presided over a school security forum on March 12th, attended by some 200 parents and students. Olson announced the drill on Facebook on April 17th, crediting Police Chief Thomas McEnany with the idea. During the next few days, said Olson, the Westford Police Department will be conducting training at Westford Academy related to school safety. My thanks to Chief Tom McEnany for initiating this important training. WestfordCAT will provide updates on school security efforts in the future. Runners from around the world took part in the 122nd Boston Marathon on April 16th. That included Westford Academy alumni Kara Curran. Curran completed the 26.2-mile course from Hopkinton to Boston in 4 hours, 56 minutes, and 40 seconds. It was her first full marathon, and she ran as a member of Team Joslin, which supports the Joslin Diabetes Center in Boston, where 2 of her younger brothers received their diabetes care. The Beth Israel Hospital physical therapist raised more than $8,000. If you'd like to contribute to her cause, you can visit crowdrise.com and search for Kara Curran. And now for our feature of the week. 70 Medical Reserve Corps volunteers gathered on April 11th at the Chelmsford Senior Center to demonstrate how this region is prepared for the unexpected. The event was organized by the Westford-based Upper Merrimack Valley unit of the national organization. It showed how the MRC volunteers help with first aid, medical triage, CPR certification, emergency sheltering, and a host of other services. The local unit is charged with providing leadership for public health emergencies, mass casualties, and community service. The local MRC covers the towns of Billerica, Chelmsford, Dracut, Lowell, Tewksbury, Tingsboro, and Westford. It was founded in 2003 with a federal grant. As an example of its impact, 10 local members stood ready to staff emergency shelters in Florida for Hurricane Irma on September 11th. This was the first time in Massachusetts history that one of the state's MRC units offered up a team through the nation's mutual aid system. Although the members were not deployed, their ability to form a team rapidly for disaster response shows how willing members are to go where needed. The Mission Ready teams heard a presentation by member Pamela Labar of Westford with her therapy dog, Georgia. Labar discussed how she and Georgia provided healing after the recent Las Vegas massacre and the school shooting that killed 17 people in Parkland, Florida. The year-long accomplishment was backed by a $13,000 grant from the National Association of County and City Health Officials. It was awarded in January of 2017 to enhance the unit's abilities to recruit, train, deploy, and retain volunteers for a range of missions. Drenching rain canceled the Westford Colonial Minutemen's annual march to Northbridge in Concord this Patriots' Day for the first time in recent memory. The 10-mile trek from the Westford Common was nixed due to drenching rains and difficult walking conditions, according to Lieutenant Colonel Dan Lacroix. Concord's traditional parade and Patriots' Day activities were also canceled due to the weather on April 16th. Lacroix said it was only the third time in more than 2 decades that the march had to be canceled. It was an overflow crowd of almost 250 that streamed into the Nabnassett Lake Country Club on April 11th to take in the history of Nabnasset, a 2-hour PowerPoint slide presentation researched and produced by Westford's Jeff Hall and Richard McLaughlin. This was the 5th and final presentation in a series sponsored by the Westford Historical Society to cover the history of each of Westford's 5 villages. Every year, beginning in 2014, a Westford village has been spotlighted through these presentations, with the first being Forge Village, followed by Parker Village in 2015, Graniteville in 2016, and Westford Center in 2017. Here's Hall talking about what was once called Nabnassett Grove.
Okay, let's begin with Nabnassett Lake and what was known as Nabnassett Grove, which existed from 1859 to 1935. It was a picnic area, summer resort at Nabnassett Lake in Westford. The Grove was established by Captain Oliver Wallace Woodward of Nabnassett with about 18 of his friends from Lowell. Captain Woodward owned his 139 acres, a farm and grove that bordered all the eastern shore and half of the northern shore of Nabnassett Lake. And you can see that's 1910, and that house is going to become more familiar, and here it is, 2015. Captain Woodward would accommodate your group for an hour or for a day. Many businesses, churches, and organizations from Lowell and the surrounding communities would hold their functions at this grove. By 1870, Nabnassett Grove had added croquet, archery, a dining hall, you can see that on this side here, dining hall, and dancing. There was a large field for sports, fun and games, as well as military encampments. Troop F from Westford Center, that also came down and did many of their drills in that area.
Westford Historical Society's Penny Lacroix was on hand to introduce the presentation, and although NAB history enthusiast and co-producer Richard McLaughlin was not present due to a medical emergency, he was recognized for his immeasurable hours of research with a standing ovation. WestfordCAT recorded the event and will have it available in the upcoming weeks to view on our Verizon and Comcast cable channels and online at westfordcat.org. The other 4 presentations are also viewable on demand. Rekha Sharma has another health tip just for you.
Hi everyone, I'm Rekha Sharma, your Ayurveda practitioner, back with the new health tip for WestfordCAT News. Ayurveda is a traditional system of healing from India focusing on the oneness of mind, body and spirit. Today I'm going to talk about coconut water. Coconut water is a natural detoxifier and cleanser. It improves the natural strength and immunity, thereby nourishes the body. It also helpful in underweight people to gain weight. It reduces gastritis, heartburn, and lethargy. It relieves abdominal pain and indigestion. It is an excellent diuretic and flushes out toxins. Coconut water helps to calm the excessive air and fire elements of the body. It is an excellent summer drink as it has natural electrolytes. If you have any allergies, please contact your healthcare provider before consuming. You can have 1 glass of coconut water every alternate day in summer to get the benefits. I'll be back with a new health tip. Bye for now.
WestfordCAT's honorary meteorologist, Terry Eliason, sat down this week with news director Joyce Polino Crane to provide an overview of the weather this spring. Here he is on the set of Main Street.
We're getting the next 6-7 days look dry. The weekend
Yay.
looks great. I mean, maybe once you're watching this, it was the past weekend, but next week, 60s are finally coming into the picture. I think we may have seen the last of the snow today, although I wouldn't rule out, you know, a little flake here or there, but I think today might have been it. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I'm hoping you're right. So
yeah.
What's on tap for May?
I think overall, we're going to probably jump pretty quickly from spring to summer here. And I would guess sometime around maybe the second week of May, mid-May, we're just going to, it's going to be like, okay, I guess we're through with winter now. And so the next couple of weeks, some peaks and valleys, a few, you know, times of cold. But the good news is, once you get to late April and early May, even if you're a little below average this time of year is about 60 degrees. So if you're 5, even 10 degrees below average, it's a lot better than where we've been over the last, say, 6 weeks or so.
Oh, absolutely. But does this mean I can put my winter coat away?
I think so. I mean, I wouldn't start gardening just yet. I mean, I think we've still got some cold nights ahead. They typically say once you get to the third week or so of May, that's kind of safe time to start with the gardening and a lot of that stuff. But I think we can put the snow behind us. We can put the shovels away.
Eliason is meteorologist and executive weather producer at WBZ-TV, Boston. WestfordCAT volunteer Betsy Alvarez is here with suggestions for things to do around town.
Thanks, Ira. Bring your friends for a fun-filled evening of dancing and music at the Barn Dance on Saturday, April 28 at the Parish Center for the Arts from 7:30 to 10 p.m. No experience is necessary. Lessons start at 7 p.m. Tony Parks will be calling and Au Contraire will provide the music. Tickets are $6 for adults and free for students 21 and under. Visit westford.com/PCA for more information. The Recycling Commission is collecting used electronics on Saturday, May 5th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Highway Department on 28 North Street. This is a free-based collection open to all. Payments must be made with either cash or checks. Checks should be made out to Northeast Material Handlings. WestfordCAT has the details at westfordcatnews.org. Search for the electronics collection. Master Gardener Betty Sanders will present Life Cycling Gardening at the J.V. Fletcher Library on Thursday, April 26 at 7 p.m. If you find your plantings no longer fit your lifestyle, Sanders will give you tips for reconfiguring your garden. Register at westfordlibrary.org. Chick Singer Night is coming to the Chelmsford Arts Center on Saturday, June 23rd at 7 p.m. and submissions for performances are still being accepted. Ticket sales of $15 each will benefit Westford's FAME, which stands for Funding Arts and Music Education. Visit chicksingernight.com and click on the Boston link for details. I am Betsy Alvarez, a WestfordCAT volunteer. Back to you, Ira.
That's it for this week, Westford. We leave you with video of the flautists who performed at the Parish Center for the Arts on April 15th.